My long-distance girlfriend tells me not to worry about her hot guy friend. Should I leave her? This is OKOP, where we read the craziest true stories on Earth. I'm John and Sam. The question is, should this person leave the relationship?
How hot is he? And how much physical touch have you seen in her stories?
They are almost as hot as Big Protein.
Big Protein is pretty hot. Sexy Mr. Beast over here.
I do have a okay story.
Okay, story time?
alert?
Yeah, about a girl that did leave her boyfriend for me.
You?
Yeah.
I also have a story of a girl that left her husband for me.
Oh my gosh.
Double okay story time?
Yeah, we'll get to it at the end.
Okay, but for now, let's get into this one. User Is It Real Love says, my girlfriend is righteous, fair, and caring to the extreme. She wouldn't hurt a fly. Case in point, I once killed an ant that was on the table and she actually cried with real tears.
Would you kill me if I was a worm?
Because she cares and because she can't see any being, no matter which one, be in pain. Now, onto my issue. We're in a long distance relationship and there's this guy at her work that is really desperately in love with her, in my opinion. It started out as them becoming running partners while she was preparing for a marathon. They run together 3 times a week before work, and long runs at that. Sometimes between 20 and 30 kilometers.
That is a long run.
That's a long
Getting your heart rate
run.
up,
Endurance.
moving
Endurance.
together.
It sounds like other activities like that. They talk a lot during those and got to know each other. They hang out at work. They eat together and then they talk more. They are both kind of foodies. Actually, that's one of the special things between me and her. So they exchange things that they cooked. For example, jam in exchange for honey, homemade bread, things like that. Then sometimes they go to parties together. Though as far as I know, he's invited her a couple times and she's always declined to go to a party just with him.
Okay, so OP's going.
It seems like she was not the one, accepting invites from him.
But OP is going to these parties with her when she goes with the other guy.
OP is far away and cannot attend.
Right, they're long distance.
Kind of makes everything 10 times worse, right?
Oh!
If they are going to a party together, it's because it's a group thing and they belong to the same group of friends. Anyway, they go to parties and I think that they hang out nicely there too. Lastly, although she declines to go to a party one-on-one with him, they do hang out together on Sunday afternoons and the like, which Sunday afternoons feels kind of like it's like an intimate time. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
They're hanging out. They're both
working
straight.
together. They're both straight. And OP says that this guy is desperately in love with her. And he looks almost as good as a Big Protein.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. So I'm 100% sure that this guy is super into her. He does everything he can to hang out with her. Now, onto her side. She wouldn't hurt me. I was wondering for a while whether she was capable of cheating behind my back and not telling me. In other words, her version of not hurting me. But I'm pretty sure that's not an option because of these 3 things. Number 1, we see each other often, every 2 weeks, and it's miraculously amazing every single time. Mind-blowing. Never seen such synergy in any couple. Everything, the conversations, the love, the activities we do, the fun times, absolutely everything. Number 2, we talk on the phone all the time, every single evening. There's literally no available time in which she could actually cheat on me, unless they meet from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. or something ridiculous like that.
How about all the times that they're hanging out?
That seems pretty doable.
I mean, what if she just doesn't go on one of those long runs, but she's like, oh, my heart rate was up for 2 hours. But wait, your steps you didn't do any steps during that time.
Yeah, my pedometer's
How did
broken.
that happen?
Look at my heart rate is working great. You can see it's through the roof, really. But my pedometer's just broken. Apple says they can't fix it. I'm sorry.
Technical difficulties. I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily think she's cheating, but you can find 2 minutes to cheat if you wanted to.
That's true. It only takes the hot guy 2 minutes if you catch my drift. And finally, number 3, she's pretty blunt. I don't think she would hide something like that. She's not the type to be afraid to break up. I think if she felt like it, she would just do it because it just wouldn't feel right. So very quick pause right here. Do we think that the guy is desperately in love with OP's girlfriend like OP says?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think there's a very good chance that maybe not desperately in love, but there is an attraction.
Yes. this.
And I think it might be even a mutual attraction, but weighted more from the guy to the girl. So I think like the guy friend is more attracted to the girlfriend, and the girlfriend might be a little bit attracted, but mostly platonic.
If the girlfriend becomes single, the guy would want to pursue her and date her.
Yes. And I think if the girlfriend became single, she might even get a relationship with this guy, but I don't think she's maybe allowing herself to think those thoughts.
She's telling herself, I don't want this and I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But if OP comes all jealous,
If there's different circumstances, maybe.
if there's different circumstances.
If OP comes on jealous and is a little bit too like controlling, might drive her into the arms of another.
It just might.
From her lover to another.
Ouch. Now, having said all this, I don't know what to do. Just like I am 100% sure that this guy would love to be in a couple with her, I think she is also not indifferent, and she would definitely go for it if she weren't with me. So they have similar backgrounds, more similar than her and I. Okay. They work at the same place and like hanging out at the same spots. They speak the same language, whereas with me, she has to speak in English, which none of us are native in. That's an interesting point.
That's another one.
They both have to speak a non-native language to each other to communicate. He's a cool guy, young, smart, sportsy. He's got a lot going for him. It's a funny situation. On the one hand, it's super awesome to have a girl that's so true to you. I'm really sure that she is not cheating. That's not the problem here. On the other hand, I'm also pretty dang sure that if we weren't together, she would be with that guy. It would just make absolutely no sense to not be with him. So the question is this an okay situation? Could one see it as her just keeping the guy as a backup in case we break up? And is that an okay thing to do? Is it an indication that I'm not showing her enough proof of my affection and she believes there's a possibility of a breakup? So we have to ask you all and ourselves the same question. Do we think that the girlfriend is keeping this guy as a backup?
And also, is that okay? I don't think she's intentionally thinking of it as a backup. I've had like in my life, I've had a lot of like female platonic friends while I've been single, and it's been platonic, but there's been like a little bit of attraction there. And I think also there's like almost always attraction in at least one direction with, I feel, close, like opposite sex friends.
Right.
If they're both straight.
Right.
Would you agree or no?
I have had so many, I don't really have very many now, but I have in the past had so many platonic relationships with women where literally nothing has happened. It wasn't like, oh, we hooked up once or whatever. It was like, no, like nothing has ever happened.
But would you say that's often?
I would not say that that's usual.
I think I'm for sure that happens and does happen, but I feel like
there are many cases.
There are many cases where there's attraction at least one direction.
It is a sticky spot to be in. On the possibility that she's afraid of a breakup and keeps him as a backup, unfortunately, I can't go much further with our current situation to give her a promise of security. We're long distance, so I wouldn't do anything crazy like proposing to her when we've never lived together. Thank God, OP. I guess the only reasonable thing I could do is quit my job and move to her city, but I love my job so much and I'm doing so well, so that would be really hard for me to do that. Note that for the eventual plan, when we'd move in together, we would go to a city where I can keep working for the same company. There are many such cities, but sadly, the one that she lives in is not one of those where we have an office. I almost feel bad because they'd be such a great couple. Oh my gosh. I feel like I should just make it easy for her and let her be with that guy. Be done with the long distance and let them be married in their city and have a happy life together. Oh. OP.
I feel like OP is like shooting himself in the foot before he's even started the race here.
Totally. With me, we have another 1 to 2 years of long distance to get through, and then we'd probably have to both move to another city to be together. We've talked about it. We're both okay with that plan. We both can't wait to move in together, but when you take a step back, it would just make so much more sense for them to be together instead. I guess sometimes love does strange things. I don't know if I should bring this up to her at all. As I said, nothing bad is actually happening at the moment. I just want to avoid that in 1 year, she suddenly has a change of heart and goes with him. And we realize that we lost 1 year of our lives. lives.
The bad thing that is happening is like your mindset on this.
Yeah.
Saying like, oh, she might be better off with this guy. That is a bad thing that maybe means you need some communication.
Maybe she thinks he's butt ugly, you know?
Why are you doing OP like that?
Maybe she thinks the other guy is butt ugly.
Oh.
No, OP is sexy.
We did kind of see a situation like that this weekend.
Oh, with Christian stealing both of the girls that we were trying to hit on?
That too. But no, the tennis player or the people that got back from playing tennis or something, and they were watching jury duty all day together.
Oh, yeah.
Man, we are hinting so much tea for the audience.
Dude,
right now.
yeah, we were. Story 4.
Can we do an OK Storytime battle and then pick the best of the OK Story times?
Okay, deal.
All right, we'll have a battle of the OK Story times at the end, so stick around for that. And frankly, if that happens, both of us leaving the relationship, the two of them would still be fine. But the biggest loser would be me, since I'd be all alone and I'd have to start everything over. The stupidest part of this wouldn't be a question at all if we lived in the same city, because she'd obviously spend all her time with me and she wouldn't have this enormous amount of time to spend with this other guy. I don't know what to do. I'm happy with her. She's happy with me. I just don't want to wake up one day and realize it was all a waste. I'm in my prime years now. I won't be in 2 to 3 years. He's that
You
Leo.
won't be in 2 to 3 years? You won't be in your prime years?
He's operating by Leo DiCaprio standards.
Oh, yeah,
here,
right,
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Also, men peak at like 35
Really?
in the dating market for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I see where you're going with that. Edit. Maybe a reasonable thing to do would be to talk to the guy. There aren't many opportunities for me to do so, but he might be willing to at a gathering that we go attend next weekend. Sorry, don't want to give away too many details. There is an update, but let's ask that question. Should OP approach the guy and talk to him about this?
Not first.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad idea.
You want to steal my girlfriend? Like OP is, you can hear from how he's writing this that he's down in the dumps.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm coming out of my prime years. This guy's like way better for her than me. I'm going to be wasting a year of her life. Like OP, you're obviously thinking about this a ton and that sucks. You need to, and you're going to continue to spiral and it's going to damage your relationship. If you're having these feelings, you should talk to her about it.
Yeah.
Right?
1,000,000%. And I think kind of like what you were saying earlier, if you were like, hey, here's like the line of thoughts that went through my head. I was, worried about this guy. And then I was like, am I being insecure? And then I was like, should I talk to the guy? I was literally all over the place. I didn't know what to think. And I don't know what to think, but I just wanted to
Voice that to you.
voice these concerns. And
then from that point, you could be like, what can we do if she actually cares about you in the relationship and you care about her in the relationship? What can we do together to make sure we're both comfortable?
yes, 100%. 1,000% think OP should not talk to the guy first.
Yeah,
Talk
dude.
to the girl.
Yeah,
first.
he talks to the guy and the guy's like, all right, the plan is working. I'm going to sneak in with the woman I love.
But there's only one way to see what happens.
Getting into that juicy update.
Let's go to the update. 5 years later.
What?
Maybe the longest update period we've ever had.
You're joking. 5 years?
5 years.
Wait, so when was the first post?
May 22nd of 2016.
Wow. This is going to get deep. Real quick vote. Married or not? Big protein.
I already know.
That's true. Sam.
All right, let me think. Would he do an update if everything worked out? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But he would also do an update if everything went to shit.
Yeah, or she was the one that got away.
I'm going to say married, but the guy came back.
Whoa. Okay. The third option. Well, let's find out. I brought up the topic and she was super cool about it. She was surprised and she said that it was just a friendship on her side. However, she went up to the guy and asked him if he saw things the same way. He said that he didn't. He was actually into her. So she told him that she's with me and that they need to stop hanging out.
That's awesome.
Point blank, period.
She cares.
It was never an issue after that. We still met him at parties, but it didn't make me feel bad at all because I won, baby. Yeah, I felt great. Reading the old post made me smile. It felt like a big issue back then, but she solved it so swiftly. I'm really thankful to her, and we've had the most wonderful relationship since then, and even before then. We're now 33 years old and still going strong together. together. We moved in together a couple of years ago, and it's been amazing living together, traveling together, and being together all the time. She's still so sweet. I love her with all of my heart, and it's obvious that she loves me too. You'll never know how these things will turn out, but ours is a story that will fill your hearts with hope and love. P.S. Now I'll delete the password to this throwaway account, and any reference to my computer. Feels nice to close this loop.
I'm glad it ended well.
Wow.
I'm glad it ended well.
That is a beautiful, wholesome ending. Gen Z hearts all around.
Hearts in the chat.
But what's the question?
That's your job, John.
Dang it! I failed as a host. Yeah, I mean, everything worked out happily ever after.
I think the question is, what's Riley's story that he's been waiting to share? Because I think it's time for
story time. Battle of the stories. You both have two, right?
Yeah.
Pick your best one. Pitch me the titles right now. I will pick the best one.
I got a girlfriend to break up with her boyfriend over Snapchat.
Wow, that's pretty good. I got a girlfriend to break up over Snapchat.
A girl left her husband for me, and then I broke up with her.
Riley, we might have to get yours on story too.
Dude, that
because-
one's pretty good.
All right, go Sam. It's your time.
Okay. The year was 2016.
Wow,
The year
young
was
Sam.
2016.
Same year as this.
Oh, dude, twins? Okay, the year was 2016. I was at UCLA and I had broken up with I had broken up my ex-girlfriend, Madison. We had been dating for a while. I met her in high school. She was like 2 years actually it's because her mom saw me come out of the pool, saw that I had abs, gave me her daughter's phone number, and then
Classic.
And then I started texting her. We had met at a museum. It was awesome, but she was 2 years older than me and was cheating on me while I was she was in college. She was like a sophomore in college. And I was in high school. So whatever. Broke up with her. And then soon after I started dating this girl. So there was this girl that I started dating, or this girl that I was like friends with. And then she was dating this guy, and then she broke up with him and was like on a break. And we were just friends, but then pulled some moves on me and we started hooking up. And I was not I had just broken up with like this girl that I thought I was in love with. I was just not at all ready to give my heart and soul to someone. And so I remember there's this inverted water fountain. It's like instead of the water going up, it goes into a hole in the ground at UCLA. And she's like, meet me at the inverted water fountain. And so I met her there and she's like, hey, we've been hooking up for a little bit. What are we? And I said, I think just friends. And she was like, okay. And then I believe like that week, she got back together with the boyfriend that she was on a break with, who she kind of left to date me for a little bit. And then a couple years later, they got married and are now living together, married.
Wow.
And she just dumped him to come back to you.
To get a little trial, to a little test drive.
She renewed the subscription.
It was a test drive. Or probably how she spun it, which maybe is more true. I realized how terrible the dating world was when I left you and I realized you were the man for me.
Wow.
Well, good on you, honestly. I mean, do they seem happy?
I think they're happy.
Good job.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Yeah, the guy that she broke up with is now the guy that she is married with.
There you go. I think that says it all. Now, how many years deep are they in their marriage now?
Should I mess? No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like 3 or something or 2. They seem pretty happy.
In
They
a
seem pretty
relationship
happy.
since 2016. I mean, that's what, 7 years?
Yeah.
Something like that?
And I think they had dated for like a year or 2 before that. And like we were good friends, and it was fine. It was just like I wasn't in a space to be in a full-fledged relationship because I'd just gotten out of a relationship.
You were just in a space to throw it down.
You're in college.
Yup. All
right, Riley.
That's right.
Oh man. So this kind of happened recently, but
Recently.
yeah, like about a month or 2 ago. So like my brother was talking to his girlfriend and she was like, oh my gosh, like this girl is in this bad relationship and needs to get out of it. And her boyfriend's like talking to other girls and hang out with other girls and only post other girls on his Instagram and not her. I was like, oh, well, who is she? I see her and I'm like, oh, she's pretty cute. Like I'll see what I can do. And so like I found her Snapchat, added her on Snapchat, just why not? And then like later she like added me back and I was like, so I messed up and I forgot that me being old and not using Snapchat, I screenshotted the message to send my brother.
Ooh.
It's smooth though. I screenshotted it, sent it to my brother. And I was like, and she's like, she sent a question mark. And I was like, sorry, I was doing a little before and after. She's like, a before and after of what? I was like, a before you were my girl and an after whenever you were my girl.
Oh my God.
Big
Riz
protein making big
King.
moves.
And she was like, LOL, that was smooth.
She was in a relationship at that time.
Yeah. But
Riley's like, yeah, of course she was.
Of course.
That doesn't stop Big Protein for feeding her some protein.
it's just a 1-on-1 rather than a 1v65 or whatever. Anywho, so I'm like talking to her. She's like, oh, the relationship's bad. I was like, oh, just leave him. You don't seem happy, whatever. And then she left him, and then we were going to hang out. And then it was like a lot was going on. Like I was like transitioning and like going to try to see my family. And I was like going to maybe squeeze her in at a really late time.
Yeah, you were going to squeeze her in.
I was like, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I called her and I didn't really like her voice. So I was like, crap, this is not. But yeah, I left her speechless. And
I love that line from Riley. When girls don't respond to him, I left them speechless.
and then we just never hung out. So yeah. But then that boyfriend ended up getting with another girl like soon after. She seems all right though.
Wow.
All right, who wins the story battle? For what?
I think Riley's story delivered more after the title, I would say.
Okay.
I was like shocked by your title, but then I was like, okay, cool. But then like Riley's story just had some freaking girth, some big protein girth to it. You know what I mean?
Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments which one was better.
Everyone's going to say Big Protein.
Everyone's going to say big protein there. Sam or big protein? Put it in the comments.
Everyone's going to say Big Protein.
They love saying that.
Am I wrong for not telling my sister our husbands went to a strip club? John, do you think OP should have told about the strip club endeavor?
Okay, so there are a lot of situations where people, even couples, go to the strip club and it's like, yo, it's fun. We're having a good time. Like it's a fun activity.
Yeah, that's where me, John, and Riley always meet.
Oh yeah, of course. And my girlfriend
Is
loves it
so
much.
happy about it.
So happy about it. Just kidding.
So me, female 30, and my husband, 28, live in Las Vegas, which is strip club central. My sister's, female 36, husband, male 38, visits Vegas each year to see a sports game, while my sister stays home with my kids.
The sport is called
Yeah, it's exotic pole dancing. I love that sport. He was here this past weekend along with my brother, male 28. We all went out to dinner, and my brother mentioned that they were going to a strip club afterwards. He asked if we wanted to come. My brother knows that my husband and I have gone to strip clubs together, but I felt it would be weird to go with my brothers, so I declined. My husband said yes. I'm not naive. I know a lot of these women offer enhanced services beyond dancing. I trust my husband 100% to stay within the boundaries we've previously discussed. I know my brother's fiance knows he went to a strip club last time he was in town, but I have no clue what boundaries they have in this arena, or if my sister knew brother-in-law was going. I figured since they were openly discussing it in front of me, everything was probably on the up and up. What do you think about that assumption?
I think we need to put an ICU in the comments if you see what's about to happen.
I think so too. When my husband got home, I obviously wanted all the gory details. My husband tells me that he and my brother each got a few lap dances in the main room, but my brother-in-law went into the private rooms for a big boy dance, as my husband called it. What's a big boy dance?
I imagine that's a dance for your big boy.
Is it like a...
I mean, I think they're doing the deed.
You think so?
I feel like that's what they're talking about. Yeah.
He said he thinks brother-in-law spent around $500. The last time we went, a private dance cost $200. So that's already suspicious to me.
Yeah. Big Protein just made a big face.
Oh yeah, like yikes.
My husband said that the woman gave brother-in-law her phone number. When I said, what the hell to that, my husband walked it back and said he wasn't sure if brother-in-law got her number, only that brother-in-law said she offered to give it to him. My husband said after the private dance, another woman came up to them and brother-in-law said, no thanks, I already blew my wad. He could have either meant money or something else. Either way, gross.
Feel like that's a little bit of a double entendre, meaning both at once.
So now I'm deciding if I tell my sister all of this. My family is pretty sexually liberated, but we don't discuss details with each other. My sister and I are very similar, and obviously I don't consider it cheating that my husband was there, so I wouldn't be surprised if she was okay with brother-in-law doing the same. But I can't be sure all that happened. Is he really stupid enough to do something my sister considers cheating in front of my husband and her brother, knowing how easily it could get back to her? And there is a big big, fat, juicy update. But John, do you think OP should tell her sister?
Yes, I 100% think that OP should say it because better safe than sorry, right? Maybe OP brings this up and it's like, hey, here's what happened. You know, they went to the strip club. There was this big dance. It was $500. The last time we went was $200. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe you're fine with it. But I wanted to tell you just in case. Then if it's not anything, which kind of seems unlikely to me, but if it really is, you know, if the sister considers it nothing, she'll be like, oh, that's fine, whatever. But if it isn't, then it's like,
And I think like generally tell the truth.
yes.
And I think like to all people, but you especially are obligated to tell the truth to the relationship that is strongest between like two people, right? The brother-in-law, you're probably not as close to as your freaking sister. So you owe truth to your sister over like the brother-in-law, of course. But let's get into this update. She's visiting me next month, and my plan is to casually mention that they went. If she asks for more details, I will tell her everything. But if she brushes it off, I won't push the subject. She's the type to keep marital issues private and seems 100% against the idea of divorce. So telling her will most likely just hurt her feelings and accomplish nothing. Am I wrong for not telling her? Will waiting only make things worse? Or is it best to stay out of it altogether and spare my sister's feelings? So we kind of went over that a little bit, and there is an update. Thanks everyone for replying. I now know I have to tell her. Can I get some feedback on this message, please? So I'm sure husband's name wouldn't be dumb enough to do this without telling you, but just FYI, the boys went to a strip club while he was in town. Felt like I had to tell you just in case. And also, OP's asking for some more encouragement because she's dreading sending this like you wouldn't believe. So the comments are saying, Protozoa Patriot says, if your actions cover up his crime, in a way, you're an accomplice to it. Be honest with your sister. She deserves to know. And if there are any repercussions for him, that is his fault. OP says, I'm not worried about repercussions for him. That's the whole problem. I don't think she will leave him regardless. I think she should have divorced him years ago. I'm worried that telling her will make her feel terrible about herself and accomplish nothing. Oh, so she's like, he's a piece of shit.
Dang.
Anyway, that colors it a little bit.
It does.
Wolf Rider says, you are wrong. Sister has a right to know. Brother-in-law made his choices. If you even wait to tell her, she's going to hold it against you. You should probably look at your own husband too, though. He started telling you everything. Then when he realized what he was saying and to whom, he began backpedaling, which means he's not against holding things from you. Doesn't sound like 100% trustworthy man.
Great point. Great call out.
Which is a difficult thing to hear. But OP says, I just think my husband didn't want to give me any information he wasn't 100% sure of. He's extremely trustworthy, but thank you for the feedback. Pale Condition 1056 says, sounds like your husband might have done a little more than he let on himself, which I could see too. Sparkle and Shine 4 says, no doubt, attempting to cover up his brother-in-law's possible infidelity surely makes him as trustworthy as they come, right? Just remember, birds of a feather and all that jazz. OP says, he was trying to convey to me that this was the type of stripper who gives out her phone number, meaning she moonlights as a prostitute. He initially said she gave him her phone number, which I took to mean brother-in-law accepted her phone number. Then my husband clarified that he wasn't sure if brother-in-law accepted it or not, just that she offered.
Right.
So now we can get into the updates, but does any of that change your opinion of whether OP should tell the sister, or is it even more emphatic now?
Yeah, I think it just makes it even more emphatic. It's like, I do think I can see what OP is saying with her husband, but I thought that was a good call out that possibly could be a situation there.
But I also do believe OP in her saying like, oh, he just wanted to be sure he was telling me the truth. He wasn't backpedaling. He was just being like, okay, I don't want to incriminate someone. I just want to give the straight
like
facts.
a misinterpretation. I agree too, but it was a good thing to
call out, yeah,
clarify. And knowing that OP has hated him for years,
not a good look.
Let it out, girl.
Yeah, but let's get into this juicy update. So just a quick update because I know a few people were invested in the story. I waited till Thanksgiving to bring it up because I'm a coward. My sister's husband had told her everything shortly after the trip ended. We ended up having a good laugh, making fun of the three of them and men in general for being dumb enough to think strippers are actually into them. Happy to know that my sister and I, and soon to be sister-in-law, are indeed as similar as I suspected we are. All is well, and we had a great Thanksgiving. And there are some relevant comments. Long distance boyfriend 222 says, well, here's an idea. You and sis go to the male strip club and have a good time. Then you can all laugh about how it's all fun after. Glad it's all fun now. And OP says, meh, I've been to one and it was just gross and awkward. I wish there was an actual equivalent for women though, like a place where where hot men just listened to us vent and rubbed our shoulders and complimented our makeup or something.
That is billion-dollar business right there.
And then Survival Nut says, let me see if I understand correctly. Your brother-in-law may have had happy times with a stripper and picked up an STI, and you found out that night, but waited for a month, giving him ample opportunity to infect your sister. And then you told her, I may be a pessimist, but what the fuck? I never really worried about STDs. He didn't spend that kind of money. So it was probably just like a handy.
I guess OP knows her prices.
Jeez,
She knows
yeah.
the market.
Intelligent Aioli 90 says, people can get STDs from mouths though. Your sister's very chill. 500 versus 200. He must have tipped really well. Things that make you go, And then UpDoc69 says, your husband's backpedaling on the story about your brother-in-law makes his own story suspicious. Are you sure he didn't have a private dance too? OP says, I may be a weirdo, but actually I like it when my husband has private dances. So that's not it. And I think he backpedaled because he didn't want to give me any info he wasn't 100% sure of. So it seems like OP's just chill with it.
Yeah.
It's not like an open relationship necessarily, but it's like
they're kind of like a little,
they're more
little
loose.
spicy.
They're more loose. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
a little spicy than your average relationship.
That's right.
That's fine. As long as there's consent and everyone knows
So do we think that there should be a further investigation
of this.
to get the full, the full FBI rundown?
I mean, it sounds like neither OP or her sister care.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think so.
Live and let live, right?
Live and let live.
Yeah.
But if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.